Hey guys, good afternoon. Hope you can hear me and you can see my screen. I still haven't got the chat box back. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, I don't have the chat box. I'm not sure how many traders are on it or if you can see my views. Vic, can you send me a message on Workplace just to make sure we're live and everything is good? Okay, great. The problem is I can't see the messages and I really want to make sure I get a chat box on so that we can chat. Give me 1 second and see if I can figure that out. Okay. Let's see if we can get a dialog box on. Nope, not coming. Yeah, but it's not popping back. That's a problem. I popped out of it, but there is nowhere to pop back in it. There is nowhere on my screen that says chat box, open chat box or so. So I'm trying to look for where that is. If I can find it, just 1 minute, we'll start. Nope. I start clicking a lot of things now. I have a strong feeling we're not going to have a lot of things done if I start clicking everywhere. But I don't know why there's nothing like a chat box. It should be a basic thing that should be like, you should see it immediately. This is the chat. And on this thing that I have open, there's no chat here. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Maybe I should be able to. No, not done Chrome. I get what you're saying, but let me see if it opens there. Nope, it doesn't show. It's a pop-up window. It's not a tab. It's just a pop-up window. And the pop-up window dropped off the last time when we had that, and it's not popping up back, and it's nowhere on the board. It should be on the board that I'm using, but it's not there. So, sorry guys, I am not sure we'll be able to take questions because I can't seems to get this chat box to open anywhere. There ought to have been something like a chat box somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Give me 1 second. For the time being, you have this trade going well, so you guys can keep an eye on that. Okay, it seems like we're not going to have a conversation because I can't find the chat box. I really don't get it why it's not popping up. And it's nowhere to be seen. Oh, not that. Not that. Nope. That's what I'm looking for. The one that should say restore chat, or the ones that say chat, or anything that says chat that you can click on it, or chat or dialog box or whatever. Nothing there says that. So sorry, nothing that I can click on that. It just dropped off after the last block internet failure, and it nowhere else. I have no idea how we're gonna get it back, so we'll just go ahead and do without it. I think that's the most likely thing. Okay, guys, sorry about that. So there will be no Q&A, and that's a pity. Let me go. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the New York session. It's a bit hectic out here. I can't see your messages, so I wouldn't be able to answer to your questions. We'll try our best. If Victor can copy and post it back for me here, that would work in some form. Before we start, today is the last day. I want to thank all of you for coming the last 3 days. I want to remind you that next week, Monday, we're starting a live training course if any one of you decide to join. If you can afford to pay the full course and join and start the learning process, it's going to be a 2-month process of learning, and then you will have lifetime access to the group itself. Or if you would like to join the installment. So the last time we did the installment, we give traders 2 months. When they make their first payment, we give them 2 months to make the decision. That will be the end of the 2 months today. From next month, if they decide to stay with us, they're going to stay. For new traders who would like to join, we would like to offer you the same thing. If you would like to join us for the installment program, which means you would like to see what we do in our trading room, you make your first payment for July, and we will give you access for 2 months, July, August. So you'll have 2 months to make that decision, whether what the information you're getting, the content you're getting, whatever you're getting in our trading room is worth learning, and it's helping you in your trading career. Right? You're becoming a better trader. If that's the case, please send me a Skype message. My Skype is Mangal, M-A-N-G-L. Let me just type that quick. M-A-N-G-A-L 457. Send me a message, I'll send you all the details. Good, now that is out of the way. Let's go trade. So this morning, this was a trade we took. Yesterday, that was a trade. This morning, this was a trade. It still has some more to go, so I think we will still probably stay with this trade for a while, and then I'm expecting it to go back up. So we will close this trade today and then expect to go up. We have news coming up in about 30 minutes on the CAD and on the USD. If you were here with us for the last 3 days, you would have seen how we trade the news. So I would go ahead and do just exactly that. And let me go through, give me 1 second. Let me just go. I'll start with all the dollar pairs first, and then we will do the CAD pairs. So let me just pull this aside. We're getting a pullback, not from where we wanted this morning, but from here. So we're getting this pullback, and that means we're going to get a little pullback here, but the bigger picture is upside. So if I'm going to trade the dollar in the news, I'll be trading it to the upside, which means we'll be looking for a dollar strength. Well, let's see how that will play out on the Swiss, on everything else, sorry. Silver came down pretty deep, and if you were following me for the last 2 days, you know when we were looking for a flat here, but if it comes back deep like this, very likely I would like to see this go back up, drop one more, and then go up. The upside has not changed. What has changed is the size of the correction. So I'll take this out. That's not a buy. We wouldn't be buying it there. And I do think this is going to go back up one more. But I don't think this is the one that is going to go. There's a good chance you get an up move, you get another down move, and then you get this move up for a flat here that will eventually drop. So on the bigger picture, I'm looking at this as a possible flat forming here. Kind of a flat here. This consolidation, go up there, come back here, and then go there, make this flat, and next week we'll be selling it. So today, if we'll be looking for a trade, it will be a buy setup, but we don't have the buy setup as yet. So we will see where that goes. There's a small trade here to the downside if you want. I don't think we'll get that trade here because of the consolidation, but the upside would definitely be a trade we'll be looking for. Gold, let's go back to the 1 hour and go back to the 15. We'll definitely be buying gold. It's consolidating more towards the downside, but I don't think that consolidation is enough to change the buy setup. So we're still looking for a buy setup on gold, probably just above this top here, for at least one more spike and then downside. The bigger picture of gold is downside, which means gold is in a downtrend, but there's a good chance we're going to get a spike like this and then the downside. So let's see. I would go with a bigger spike probably happening here and then downside. That if we're going to be trading the gold, we wouldn't trade this in the news, but we will trade the gold in the news for the upside. My traders, you know how to arrange it, so please arrange your trades accordingly. I should say disclaimer, I am not making any trade calls for anyone. I'm just showing you how we would trade when we trade during the news, right? Euro, again, we have an up move here. We're expecting that. This should be a short move to the downside and then this upside. So we can't sell this because it's limited to the downside, and I definitely don't have a buy setup as yet. So Euro during the news will be out. Now, just in case this is to take off, if you want, you can go with an aggressive entry here. Now, this does not have a setup. There is no setup for this buy. This is just an aggressive buy should the news drive it to the upside like this, make that flat, and then come down. For the sell setup, no, we wouldn't be selling this during the news. So we can go with a buy in the Euro too, aggressive buy. Pound, definitely the sell. So pound will be going with a sell setup. Yesterday we sold the pound here. Today we're going to sell the pound inside of this structure. Even if this is trying to go up, we're going to go with the sell setup because we do not have a buy setup. So the sell setup is going to be somewhere here. I think that should be enough. This is going to be 26.35 to 26.49. Let's put an entry here. I want to stay away from the price a little for the widening of the spread. So if this goes up, we will not be in the trade, but if it's going to drop, we will be in the trade. Now it can go up because this could be the low at this point. This could be a flat, and we might be trying to go back up because we know that there's an up move, right? I've showed you that when you joined, when we started on Monday, that this up move is likely going to happen. 1, 2, 3. But there is no setup here for that. When we get this setup, then that would be a good trade. We don't have that setup as yet. So short-term sell setup. We're going to go with the sell on this one. Aussie. Sell setup. I think this is a good place to put your entry under the low here. Yep, that should be a good place. My trick is keep track of the entry so that you're not too close. And New Zealand. Sell setup. The sell for one more drop at least. I don't think New Zealand is going to drop, but we don't have a buy setup. I think this is going to go up. There's a good chance this is going to go up because we have a flat here and they go up. If you really, really want to get aggressive for the upside, it could be short-lived, but if you want to get aggressive, you can put both the upside and the downside. You can put the upside with a buy here and the downside with a sell here. Choose one side. The downside is limited because they will have to go back up for a correction. Remember, the bigger picture is upside, right? This thing can correct like this. So this could actually make a spike up like that and then drop. So the upside is possible. So if you're watching this and you're not sure what I'm doing here, you don't know the strategy for this trade, just watch us do it. Don't try to follow what I'm saying. My traders immediately get what I mean when I said go for the buy or the sell. It's not that we think it's going to go up. We think it's going to correct, so this correction could go more and then come down. But if in the news event they want to drop it, they can literally do this now. I think most likely it's going to go up first. Yen. Okay, yen is still a buy. We pretty much still in the upside. They're not dropping as yet. You can make an argument for this making a consolidation for upside. But remember, the upside is limited even in the news. So guess what? We can go with a sell on the yen. That's just in case if this is going to drop, you want this trade. Because this is a channel, and channels like these tend to break down. They can go up more, go up more, go up more, but they tend to break down really fast when they do. So for the yen, we're going to use it as a sell setup. Good counter trade, by the way. Swiss, okay, it came down here, go up there. We won the downside. It actually went pretty aggressive up. We're going to go with the sell. Where do we get the sell setup? We don't have a sell setup, but it's as such we can put a sell here. It's more of a buy setup. We wouldn't be buying this pattern at the top there. Maybe it's going to go up, but we're not buying it at the top there. It has to go a lot higher, make a pullback, and then go. We could go with the sell setup on this one. 12, okay, that should be enough. And let's see, CAD. Okay, CAD, the bigger picture is a buy. The most immediate trade is 1, 2, 3, and then go. So there's a sell setup here. The problem is we don't know how deep the CAD is going to correct. So if you're going to put a sell on the CAD, it's going to be a problem because we really don't know how deep this is going to go. Now let's make an assumption that all of this is part of the correction. And this is trying to go up. Then with that assumption, we can put an entry for a buy above the top. Which means if it goes up, we're in the trade. If it corrects downward, we're not going to be in the trade. I mostly believe it's correcting downwards, but we don't have good sell setup, so we could use this as a counter trade for the upside. So my traders could take the CAD for the upside, for the buy. Although there's a good chance, there's a high probability it's going to drop here and then go back. Well, we have here, we have enough trade. We have the yen for the sell, we have the Swiss for the sell. So you don't have to necessarily trade the CAD. I'm going to look at the CAD pairs and then we're going to go to the indices. Euro CAD. Okay, this already dropped. I hope if you took that trade, you're out of the trade because now we're either going to break through this low or we're going to go right back to the top. So for the downside, if you want to sell, you can put an entry here for the sell, which means if you think this is going to break through and go good, you go for the sell. And I think the sell is a higher probability. If you think this is going to continue to go up for another retest of the top, there is no buy setup. We have to wait for a flag to get a buy setup. So we'll ignore the buy, but we can put the sell. The sell is if this pattern is going to break out now. I don't think it's going to break out now. I think we have more consolidation in here, but we'll go for the sell setup because that's the only setup we have. So this is going to be a sell. All of this will change after the news because after the news, we're going to go back and trade them the way we normally trade. Sorry, not euro. Pound CAD. Pound CAD sell setup. Definitely a sell setup. It's pretty high, but that's the only thing you can go with, a sell setup. And we might even want to put the sell. No, you don't want to go closer than that. It is really far away from the price. So I'm not sure it's a good idea. And we don't have anything closer. So probably just ignore this one during the news. Not much there to do. I'll leave this here for after the news when we're going to look for a flag here to sell. But unless this thing is going to drop a couple hundred pips, it wouldn't be worth it. New Zealand Aussie CAD. Sell setup. So we can go with a sell setup here under this low. And New Zealand CAD would be a sell setup. No, New Zealand CAD we're going to buy. So we have a flag here now, and this is the perfect setup for the buy. So New Zealand CAD will definitely be a buy setup. Put an entry here and go for the buy. That is 8 to 65 to put it a little higher. And go for the buy setup. So this would be a buy, which is not a bad counter. CAD-yen. It's upside, it's a buy, but remember this is pretty limited as to how high this can go. But it's a buy setup. And CAD Swiss, this would be a buy. And CAD Swiss, Well, if you're already in the buy, close the trade and put an entry above the top. Right? We're expecting this to first spike out of this like this, and then come back and then go. So let's see if we can get those two. Those are the trade setups we have for the CAD and for the dollar. If you still trade oil in the US news, you pretty much have a buy setup. You can go with a buy here, because this doesn't look like the one that will drop. It looks like a flat forming there for upside. For the downside, let's say that this is all, and it is going to drop. You can put an entry for a sell here. I think the sell is not a bad idea too. That is, if they drop through this bottom, we go for the sell here. Right? So we're gonna go for that. Euro Oz, we'll check that just now. Let me finish this. S&P 500, it's already going. So if you're in the trade, you move that to positive and stay with it. If you took this trade here this morning, either here or here, move it to positive, stay with it. There's no entry for the buy, but it's upside. If you're looking at the US thing, same thing. The buy setup was here. That's gone. We don't have any buys. And DAX, well, DAX we didn't put anything. So if you want to buy, put an entry here for the buy. Go with an entry there for this buy. So if you get a big spike here, that's a good one. Downside, we don't have anything. All right, those are the trades. So depending on what you trade, the indices don't have perfect setup for the trade. So I'll be more careful of the indices. And let's go look at Euros. It probably could go some more. You got tagged in the Euros. It's probably going to pull back and then drop again. You should have closed it, because if you were in the trade, it actually stayed there for like how many hours since you got tagged. So by rule, if you got tagged here 1, 2, 3, it's not going, and this one actually pulled back to the low, close the trade. On the 15, you would see a consolidation here. See? And if you're following us for a while, you would know we would close the trade here, and we'll put an entry under the low. I still think this is going to go down more. Starting to look like a small channel here, but there's more downside to it. It could be a running flat, and if it's a running flat, you can put an entry under the low now for the sell. We're not selling this during the news, but that would be the trade after the news. Now, if it is ready to go up, if this is ready to go up, you would want to see this break out. And any flag here will start to buy to retest the top. The big picture is upside, but right now, short term, they can still do this for a while. So if you sold this morning and you close it, that's the correct thing. So, okay, guys, I hope I had the possibility of taking questions, because we do have a lot of time. We have anything like about 12 minutes more. Nope, we have 22 minutes more, before the news, which is a lot of time. And normally before the news, we don't take trades because you can't manage them out of your way in 20 minutes. I normally take questions. So you can put your questions on. I don't know if let me see if I can go live on my give me 1 second. Let me see if it's possible. You can type questions. Vic, you can copy the questions and post them to me. If you guys have any questions, go ahead. Type your questions and I'll see if Victor can. I'm trying to see if I can do that here. Not on that screen, but then the other screen. So it's going to be let me see if I can find it in the other one. That'd be good. So I'll be able to take the questions here. If not, I'll try to open that one there and see. Okay, didn't find it. I'll just open this and see if I can mute it. Okay, the chat is on. I opened it on YouTube, so I got the chat. You guys can go ahead. TSP stock. What do you think of Euro Oz on the monthly view? Euro Oz on the monthly view is upside. So let's get Euro Oz on the monthly view. I can get that for you. Right now we're still going up. I'm not sure we'll break that top, but it's going up. So we can't make assumptions whether or not they'll go there, because this is the move down and everything in that is consolidation. For now, I would still go with upside, at least break this top, and then we'll see what happens if they turn. There is no specific pattern that says it has to go down. Right? This could be a pullback for more upside to retest the top. So for now, on the big picture, you're pretty much in a consolidation and both ways possible. Could it go down to the lows of 2011? I think you're talking about this. In 2011, that would be this low. Which low? That is, let me go back to the weekly. I think you're talking about this low here, right? Yep, it should go back, but not with this move. Unless we get a turn here, then we can expect that to come. But you see, this one was pretty sharp. So if this, eventually it will go there, but this could go back up there and then drop. Maybe eventually we'll end up looking at this here as a running flat, kind of a 1, 2, 3. Come back here and then go. So the big picture here is not clear as yet. There are too many pieces to it. TSP stock. Okay, let's see. Pong Yen. Okay, let's go to the TSP stock and then let's take Pong Yen first. We're right here. So the Pong Yen this morning, remember when it tagged you what I said, don't panic. So you will always be tagged, but the method we trade gives you an exit strategy every time. When I say almost every time you get an exit strategy. So you got tagged here. We had it like this morning. You got tagged here. Go back. Remember I said, wait for it to come back, take break even. Came back, you got break even. Right? So what you're going to do now is you're going to watch this here. We're still consolidating. All of this is still, as of now, it's still consolidation. Now, the only thing you would watch for is whether this consolidation goes back to the top here. Because then we'll expect one more down and then up, making a flat here. That's all the difference. So now we wait to see how high it goes, right? Feels like gold is going to go down. First up. Yeah, the bigger picture is downside, but I expect a move up first. I'm expecting this to make at least one spike here and then down. We're looking for this as a running flat. That's a trade we're looking for right now. See if we get that running flat. So one up and then down. If it's going to drop here, we don't have a sell set up in it. I'm not sure. Somebody type a question mark. What is the question? Don't just send a question. You have to send what is the question. So let's see. We have TSP. Let's see what TSP stock is. Okay, this one is interesting. I want to see the weekly of this looks like. It's all I have, so I have no idea what it's doing in terms of patterns. But if this is a low and we are going up, right? If this is a low and they're trying to go up, just wait to see whether this becomes a consolidation for upside. Because if this is the first impulse up, that is the most likely thing that's going to happen. You're going to get a consolidation and upside. So keep your eyes on that one. That really makes sense. Okay, guys, tell me what else you want to look at. We can, if you any selective chart, we could go with Euro Pound. We're still in the trade. If you want to get rid, if you want to take off this trade, if you want to take off the profit, that's okay. You have good profit. If you want to stay with it, get it to break even. Right? I still think this could drop a little more before we go. Now, if pound starts to fall really fast, this is going to go right back up because we expect to move back up, right? And I think these two are pretty much equivalent already. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does. So we'll see which way it goes. Just type what questions you have and we'll go with them. Okay, guys, no more questions. We still have 15 minutes. That's a lot of time. So let's look at some more. We did all the majors. We did some of the euro. Let's see, euros we did already. Let's see, Euro New Zealand. Upside. Look for the buy setup now. All right, it's starting to go up. Wait for a flag. We'll buy. Euro yen. It's upside. Wait for a flag. Buy. Or you can buy on the breakout, depending how, what strategy you normally use. Euro Swiss. Upside. I think we can agree that this is going to go up now. Wait for a flag, buy it. We have a good correction. One more up and then the downside. This should go and break the top. If you get a flag, you go for this trade and then the downside. And Euro pound. Downside so far. Pound Oz. Okay, we didn't break this low. So we're going back up. And if we're going back up, then we really don't have any buy setup as yet. Right, it's still going back, so maybe we're still in this as more as a correction rather than a running flat. So we'd have to assume that that is not a running flat and this is a correction. That's the most likelihood because we didn't break the low. And if it's a running flat, you definitely have to break the low. So this could come back here. Not necessarily break out, but at least come back to the bottom. I think that is a possibility. Wait for a sell setup in this range. I'd wait for a sell setup from the top. If this is going to continue to go, you don't have a trade. We don't have a trade as yet. I'm in the 15 minutes. You don't really have. You need a 1 hour flag for the trade. Pound New Zealand. We're trying to get this to go down. They're going back up once it breaks out of this. Sorry. So it's possibly a 1, 2, 3. Let this break out here. Make a flag in this range and then we'll buy it. Otherwise, to that, you don't know which one is going to go. And Pound Yen. It's going up, but the bigger picture is still consolidation. So even if they go back to the top, take that. Even if they go back to the top, we could get a trade down and then the upside. Pound Swiss. If you took the trade, I think this morning we took that trade to the upside. That's a buy setup. Good trade. Perfect. If you have this trade, you probably want to take profit before the news. I still think it's going to go higher, but take the profit and then we wait for another flag for the trade to go. Because during the news, they can pull back first. See? Pound CAD. Okay, we were hoping that this would drop. They go back up, take this out. We don't have a trade. And we're literally going sideways because I didn't think we broke this low. So if this low is not broken, then we're going sideways. We broke the low, so it could go back up. So we'll wait now. If it's going to be upside, wait for a flag for the buy. If it's still going to drop, then we have to wait much longer for the sell. Right, if this is upside, wait for this to come out here, make a flag, and then we buy. And Aussie CAD. Well, all the CAD pairs sell setup. Aussie Yen, let's see what Aussie Yen has. Okay, so we're back at the top. I don't think this one is going to take off. I think there's a good chance we're coming back here and then go up. Right, there's a good chance we could. The bigger picture is upside. I think we can agree, right? But I don't think this is the one that is going to break out. I think they'll probably drop here and then go. If you decide that that is the one that is going to go, then put an entry order somewhere above a top here and see how far that goes. If it goes. Right, so you can go for both the buy and the sell setup. Or ignore the sell, go for the buy since the buy is the bigger picture is upside. Right? Uh, US 30. That's the US 30. We don't have any trade. It was a buy this morning, but we don't have any trade right now. You would have to wait for this to pull back before you buy or consolidate before you buy. It's a news event, so I wouldn't put an entry above it just in front of the news. Not a good idea. If we had a deeper pullback, then we would have done that. New Zealand CAD buy setup. Alright, may get tagged before the news. Okay, that's not good. Don't let it tag you before the news. Move the entry order higher. That is 877. Put it around 97. 95 there. Don't let that tag you before the news. New Zealand CAD. 1 second, I'm going to put this entry order on. Okay, let's go. If don't let any one of them tag you before the news. Regulate. You guys know how to regulate the entry orders. Regulate the entry orders. Most of the time, nothing happens. It's just a non-event. We take off the entry orders and we go back to trading normally. We go back to trading the way we normally trade. So we have 8 more minutes. I'll mute myself for a few seconds. We'll have an 8 minutes pause almost. So if any one of you want to go and get anything, I don't know, coffee or whatever, this is your chance. Because we're still waiting for the news to come out. Any questions? Go ahead with your questions. I can take questions while we're waiting. And if you guys want to join us, send me the Skype message. Any of the traders who took the installment program the last time for the 2 months? Any of you guys in here? I mean, yes, if any one of you are in here. None of the people who took the installment program the last time is not in the room. I doubt they're not in the room. And it's strange. Okay, let's see. What do you think about 5 move patterns? You have 5 move patterns, but you don't normally get it the way the Elliott wave. Okay, we have at least one person said yes, but I'm pretty sure there are more of you in the room. I just can't see the names. Strange. Anyway, the 5 move patterns. Here's the thing. We have how much minutes? We have 6 more minutes. I think was yesterday or the day before yesterday, a very long webinar, New York session. Go watch it. I explain the whole concept behind wave analysis. And if you follow the concept, the wave counting is irrelevant. How much waves do we have in here? Here's a good question. How much waves do you have in here? Let's take 10 different people. Let everyone in the room, if you want to give your answer, give your answer. How much waves do you actually think is in there? Let's get some quick answers. Just type a number. Come on, nobody knows to count? 3, 5, 15, 25, 50. Just a number. Type a number what you think how much waves is in there. Anybody. It doesn't matter. We're not giving you a test. This is not a physics test for you. I just want to show you something. And everybody type. The next installment is due for next month because the 2 month is ending at the end of June. And for new traders, we're extending it 2 months also for July and August. Okay, one person said 5. Brave. Anybody else? Why are you guys so scared? So everybody is scared to write a number. Just type a number, make a guess. I don't care whether you're right or wrong in the number, because nobody will be right and nobody will be wrong. Exactly my point. Okay, we have 3, so I think the rest of the people, I don't know. If you guys are so scared, I don't know how I care what you're trading. Trading is about having an opinion and going on it, right? Be brave, be willing to show what you think, right? So we have 5, we have 3, we have 9, we have 1, we have 7. You get my point, right? By now you get my point that counting waves is irrelevant. It's freaking irrelevant for you guys. Most of you, if you take 100 people and it was a much longer, we will get 100 different answers. It's irrelevant to figure out. Don't try to bother with the waves so much. I'm not saying you can't count them. I'm saying most people are going to use different method. Our traders would likely, my traders would use our method and they will all come up with the same answers if they use the method I'm showing them how to do that. But that method is only to tell you, when you're looking at patterns, how much wave is specifically in that pattern. That's the only purpose of it. It's not for trading. It's for you to understand that, okay, yeah, this is a 3-wave structure, or this is a 5-wave structure, or this structure has a bigger 3-wave coming, right? Like, is this correction an equivalent to that correction? That's mostly what you're trying to do, right? But one correction, and at any time it can end, so why try all the buy setups? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're talking about, why try to buy setup, but I can tell you why we're buying it. Because there's a good move that is going to come here. That's why once you break the low, we start looking for buy setups. Because you remember when it was here and we were buying? If you were following me, you would have known that we bought this, and we bought this, and we bought some in here, and we bought this. So if you were following me, you would know that we were buying it crazily to the upside. And now we're trying to sell it, right? This piece from the top, I didn't sell it very top, but we sold some in here for corrections, some of the flags. At the bottom here, I stopped selling it. I think this was the last sell. Traders took the break this low, and once it broke that low, you get out. Now we're looking for a buy. See? Is the wave a forecast methodology or a trading strategy? Both. It's both. So the problem with most traders is because you're looking at wave analysis. Okay, we have 2 minutes. Let's finish this, and then I'll give you guys a quick lesson on wave analysis. That might help. So we're gonna go to CAD dollar because we have both CAD news and dollar news. So we're gonna stay on this one. We're not trading this one as such, because unless you put the buy setup here, we're not really going with this for any direction unless you want to put the entry order for the buy to the top here, right? Which is basically if they take off like a rocket, right? So we're going for this one for that. I believe more or less it's going to be a non-event. Nothing will happen, but we will see. So you have a sell setup, and by the way, silver, we didn't put anything. It has a sell setup now. There's a flag there in silver. That could be a sell setup, but it might be short-lived. So during the news, you probably want to be careful if you're trading it. I think the problem with wave analysis is the way traders are viewing it. The idea of wave analysis, or the idea of the concept, has been misled a lot. Traders do not understand exactly what's happening in the charts, right? People, the simple-minded people have an idea that, oh, you're looking for ABCs, right? The little more complex one, think, oh, you're looking for a pattern. You have to get a flat or a triangle or something like that. The idea is a little more deeper than that. It all has to do with orders that are being filled. Right, so let's see. The news is going to be out. Let me put this in the 1 minute. Sorry, I forgot to put it in the 1 minute. And let's see. No reaction. I don't think we have any reaction. It's pretty much Yeah, not in the dollar pairs, not in this pairs, no reaction. So I'll just go with non-event. We'll go back to normal trading just now. Nothing much happened. Yen is coming down a little, but I don't think it will be enough to break through. So we're just gonna go with a non-event. Take off all the entry orders and let's go. Yep, nothing happened. Forget about it. So let's go back to our trading. There isn't enough momentum to push this anyway. So quick, since today is Friday and nothing much is moving, you're not really missing any big trades. Let me give you guys a quick lesson on wave analysis. Again, I'm going to start with forget about everything you know. Blank your mind for a second. And think of yourself at an auction, trying to buy something. Whatever is it. And there's an auction going on where somebody is going to put an order to buy and there's a selling price, right? So they would like to sell, let's say you're auctioning cars. Gold move. 1 second, let's take a look. Gold got tagged. Okay, if gold got tagged, then stay with it for a little longer. Put a stop here. Put a stop here. If they pull back to that level, get rid of the trade. I think it should come and break this stop and then we'll see. Right? You can, let me go into 1 minute. On the 1 minute structure, you just got tagged. That is in the second minute. So give it a few more minutes. Put a stop under this low. If they come back to this level, exit the trade. Take the loss. If they go back there. If it stays here, close the trade. If this pulls back on the 1 minute, close the trade. You know the rules, right? Basically. If it's not going down and it stay here too long, close the trade. Because it has to go, not stop. That pullback, you should not have tagged you. Right? Because the first minute you have to close it. The second minute, well, if you're tagged in, don't worry. Any pullback to that, take it off. So this would be the first candle. This would be the first one. You want the second, the third, the fourth, somewhere there, take off the trade. If this next one it goes straight. So it's either you get this or you get that. If it's coming down, your stop is here. Right? So 3 possibilities now. You either get stopped out here, you let it do this. That is the momentum strategy. Big picture is still upside. The upside has not changed and we're still coming to break this stop. But you probably would have to re-enter it on the bigger picture strategy. But you might end up with a flat here, a small flag here. And then they go. So I don't think you want to live through that. Right? Because the calculation for the risk to reward would change. So it's gone back to the top. Your choice. You could take break even now, or you could put it to keep this stop and stay with it. I would say based on the strategy you're using, you would take break even. Right? Let's see, Cadian. It didn't move anywhere. We're still in this sideways. If you put it as a sideways like this, we're still pretty much in a big sideways here. Right? If you pull it like this, we're in a big sideways. So even if this comes down a little more, it is still a big sideways for upside. Right? That is still a big flat. So selling here doesn't really make any point. If they come here, they're still going up. Look for the buy from here to go up. Right? I don't think we're totally going down as yet. Because this pullback is pretty deep. If we had been here, we'd go for the sell. Yeah, go take the break even and the goal and wait for a flag. Remember, the upside is limited, right? The bigger picture would be the downside. So, okay, let's go. Let me give you a quick idea where most traders are missing what wave analysis is about. So, if you're at an auction, and let's say it's used cars, and somebody said, okay, 130. That's the price. Right? 130. Unless somebody buy it, you don't have a market, right? There is a price to sell, but nobody's buying. So they will go 112, then they go 110, 111, and then somebody buy. One car sold. And then the auction will go on, right? They might start raising the price up again, and another one sell, and then another one sell, and then another one sell, and then all the cars are starting to sell within that range of price. So within that range, everybody agree. That's a good price to buy, and that's a good price to sell. But if you keep auctioning car, and let's say there are millions of cars out there, the same type, same everything, at some point people stop buying, right? And if there are more cars to sell, then you would have to go and find buyers at a cheaper price. What if there are more people waiting to buy cars, but the cars finish? The people who want to buy will offer to buy at a higher price. They would say, yeah, I'll take your car if you sell it to me at 113. I'll buy it from you. And until somebody says, I'm going to buy, it will not stop. The movement will go, which means you are going to look for where the price is, where the order is. So unless anybody has an order in here, you have a movement from here to, you have a gap from there to there. We will fill the gap with a candlestick. So what happens? This is the basic what's happening in the market on any given market. You're buying and you're selling. And as all of this is happening, all the buy and sells are happening all over the place. You would find that if you go back and you connect them and you look at them, they will start to make patterns. You will start to see patterns. You would start to see patterns. And if you study the bigger charts, you're going to see more patterns. What you're also going to see is a lot of these patterns repeat themselves. So you would see something like this, and you would see something like this, and then you would see something like that. And you're like, wait a second. Okay, so the price went up, it stopped, it stays in this range for a while, and then it go up. What if I'm looking at the chart and I see this? What should be my thought process? That at some point it is going to do that. Now that doesn't mean that the price doesn't continue to do this and come back here. Right? I want you guys to get this clear. It does not mean that the price cannot go lower. It means that most of the time when you see it, you're going to get this. So if you take 100 of them, about 80 times it's going to do this. That's about 80% of the time it's going to do that. And sometimes it's going to do this. And sometimes it's going to do this. Widening of that thing. So instead of going anywhere, it stays within the range, but in a bigger range. Right? Now, you don't need to count all of this stuff. You don't need to label all of that stuff. You need to figure out it. And you need to figure out which pattern is going to end where and which one is going to go where. Now, in the course that we're going to do, we're going to be teaching you exactly that. Not only how to recognize the pattern, but how to trade them. So when this came here and this started to break out, let's take the Pong, the Euro Pong. Here's a good example because we traded this. I want to go with one that is real because we traded it. So we're in this structure here. I want you to pay attention to how I have my chart set up. Go back to my webinar when this move happened and when this started to happen. And you would hear me tell you that you see this, we're going to get one more move up there and then we're going to drop. And instead of going up, because we bought this, I can tell you that we bought that. But instead of going up, it came here and then it came down back. Of course, we closed that trade. And there's a reason we're closing these trades when they don't go. So we closed that trade and it came lower. And we were like, okay, well, we will sell this, see if it's coming back to this low. And it actually broke the low. But then you would hear me say, be careful of sells here now. Because there's a good chance that we're going to get a move up like this. And then we're going to get a move down, and we're going to get well, I didn't think they were going to do that, but I see this as a correction, and then we're going to get a move down. And then if they make this bigger correction, we're expecting this to go up like that, but then it made a sharp one here, and I was like, okay, you were here when we were trading those. And I was telling you they need to come back down one more like this before they go back up. So before all of this happened, I had this arrow from somewhere here. This arrow was from here. The first time the arrow would be from here. So the first one would be 1, 2, 3. Go back to that level, come back here, and then go there and then drop. The second arrow would be, okay, this is a flat, so this is not going. It goes up there. If it makes another flat, it's one more up. And then when you break that top, we're going to expect it to come here, go back there, and then drop. And it went a little higher, and we're like, okay, anything we get here, we'll take the sell. we sold it, it's here, this is probably going to drop one more. And then this is going to go back up. You notice this arrow is already here. That is going to go back up. That is going to go back up. Put this back where it belongs to. And then we're going to drop. Then we're still going to go one more down. I still think there's a possibility of one more down here before the bigger picture come in. And the bigger picture is upside. The bigger picture for this is that when this is finished, you're going to get a move up like this. And you're going to get a move up like that. And then you're going to get a move down like this. Come on. Okay, let me just put it here and pull it for you. You're going to get a move down like that. That's the big forecast. So we're trading in here right now, and we're already in this sell, making money like crazy. And if it goes back up, we'll buy it, and if it comes back, we'll sell it. So why do I put those arrows? Because every time we get a piece of the equation, every time you get a piece, every time you're offered a piece, 1, 2, you would always put the next piece like this. Whether or not it goes, you're going to put the next piece like that. And the next piece might actually do this. And then you would assume that it's going to do this, and then it's going to do that. Because this is what will complete the pattern. Now it's a little more complex than that, and it's a little more difficult for how you're going to understand which piece is going to do what. And that's a trading course. Teaching you the rules of it, of what to look for, how to look for it, how to understand when it's going to happen, how to understand when it's going to change, how you're going to trade each piece, and how you're going to get out of it if the change is happening instead of it going the way you want it to go. And then when you finish that, you still wouldn't learn it. You still wouldn't know it. You're not going to be an Elliott Waver immediately when you finish the course. It's going to take you about a year to master it. So you will need about a year training with us. So that's why we give you lifetime complimentary access, so you can stay with us and practice, and we will correct what you do wrong, and you'll practice some more, we'll correct it. And eventually you become one of the people who are going to be helping other traders in the group. We have a lot of traders like that. Now, the question traders likes to ask me, am I going to be successful doing this? And the answer to it is always, I don't know. If anybody tell you that what they're going to teach you will make you successful, they are lying to you. I don't care what the hell they're teaching. But if they promise you that you're going to be successful doing what they do, they're lying to you. Because they do not know you. They don't know your ability to learn, your ability to implement, your ability to handle risk, and everything else that is in between. They don't know. They're just selling you false promises. I'm telling you, we're going to train you and keep you in the group and keep training you, and you will copy what we do to make success, and until you can make success on your own. Now, as long as you're in the group with us copying what we do, you will make winning trades. Because I would be here and all my senior traders will be here doing that. You're definitely going to make winning trades because you'll follow what we do in the start. And then as you get better at it, you will start offering us your trade setups, what trades you see. You'll compare them to what we do. You will decide on your own what is a good trade. You will make some of your own trades. You will make wins, you'll make loss until you figure out it properly. And there you go. How long that is going to take you? Again, I don't know. I have no idea. I can tell you we have traders who came in and within a couple of months, because they're very experienced traders, are already mastering it. And traders who are in the group for 2 years because they're pretty new in trading, still struggling. So that will be up to you. We're not giving you any false promises. We're telling you what we're offering, and what we will try to do for you. That's all. Now, if you can pay, if one guy is going to tell you all you need is 10 minutes and one set of rules and you'll become successful, and you believe it, congratulations. I wonder why there's any poor people in the world if that's all you need to be successful. If all you need is a set of rules he's going to give you, I don't know, 5 rules or 6 rules. If that is all you need to be successful, the 5 set of rules he's going to give you to trade, which you can memorize, then I wonder why is there still poor people in the world. There shouldn't be. So I can tell you, not everybody who come to learn wave analysis will get it and will be able to master it the way it should mastered. It doesn't mean, you're going to fail. It all depends on your discipline, your ability to put in the hard work and to learn it. You can do it. Right? Not all the people who go to Harvard are the best lawyers in the world. Some of them, crappy. They got the same education, but crappy. It's individual, right? Success is individual. Knowledge is general. Knowledge is for everyone. It's general knowledge. We all went to school. We all had the same set of knowledge. Right? But success is individual. So, if you want to be successful, there's a guarantee we're going to be here for you. That's the only guarantee we're giving you. We're going to be here for you to help you, to train you, to learn. That's what we can promise you. Now, whether or not you're going to be successful will be up to you. I can tell you how it normally works. The successful traders normally say, hey, I learned all this stuff, but you didn't help me. I learned it on my own. That's the one who leave, the angry ones. Right? But the ones who didn't get it properly or leave too early or couldn't do the hard work would say, that wave analysis thing is not working. I went and I took his course. I was there a couple months. It's useless. It's not helping me. I'm out of it. And that's okay. That's an opinion. I went to medical school. I'm not a doctor. I went 4 years and then collapsed. I'm not saying, hey, that whole medical school thing is crap. You can't learn medicine. Don't worry. Don't go to medical school. It's a waste of time. I don't say that. We have doctors, right? We have successful doctors. I'm just happy to be one who didn't make it the 4th year and then didn't go anywhere after that. That doesn't mean medicine as a thing didn't work because I didn't do it. Right? So people who drop off who didn't, for different reasons, right? Mine was economical because the Soviet Union collapsed. I had no choice but to drop off. I wasn't the only one who dropped off too, by the way. But that's the whole point, right? So, let's go. What else? Any other questions? That's what wave analysis. Get the depth of the analysis. Don't go shallow. Don't follow the counting and the beautiful colors and the waves. And if you follow it, you'll figure out that most of them get it wrong. Even their own count, they get it wrong because it's not about the counting. It's not about the patterns and how much waves. And all of that is good to know. All of that is making you better at it. But it's not only about that. It's much deeper than that. And maybe that's exactly why I didn't succeed in medicine, so that I could come and move into something else and be more successful there. I did change the way everybody looked at the wave analysis because Elliott wave was a kind of a dying thing. Nobody wanted to learn it. It was confusing. It didn't make a lot of sense. It wasn't giving you a lot of sense. And then I came up with the wave analysis. And if you go on YouTube now and you click wave trading, wave analysis trading, you will be surprised to see how much turns up. Right? The first 100 videos will all be wave analysis. I have seen some seasoned Elliott wave traders change their thing to wave analysis. So yeah, I think I've done something to change it. Let's go. And it's working. Here's a good example that is working, right? This is a perfect example that is working. Remember what I just showed you? You're going to get a move, and then you're going to start to see it correct in a range. And then it's going to break out of this range to go. And then it will take another range here. And then it's going to break out of that range to go. And if it makes another one, it's going to break out of that range. And then it's going to reverse and do the opposite. I just showed you this. And if you can master this, you can do well. The problem with most traders is when it comes to this one, they don't know what to do. And they'll still be selling when they should be looking for buy setups. Right? So that some of them will still be selling when they should be looking for buy setups. There's a point where I would say, well, we're not selling. New Zealand cat, we're not selling it. I said pretty clear, said we're not selling it. By the way, darn, I forgot we should have put the New Zealand cat entry here after the news. My fault. You see, that's the thing about getting carried away. I hope my traders move your entry order to the bottom here. Please tell me you did. Right? You should move your entry orders to the bottom here because this was for the news and this is where you would put it after the news. So you would do this, and now you can literally put that to break even. Right? Somebody was just asking about it. Why you want to buy it? Why are you putting buy orders on this thing? Just, is it going to break out of this? I don't know. Here's the thing. You don't need to know if it's going to break out. Don't worry about the outcome. If you focus on what the outcome would be, you're going to have a lot of problems. You know, there are people who like to control the outcome. They think they can control the outcome. You really can't control the outcome of anything. And I mean this literally, not figuratively. No one can control the outcome of almost anything, no matter how much you train for it. You ask the soldiers who train to go to war, when they're actually in a real war, whether they know what the outcome is going to be. They will get massive training, and when they're there, sorry, not going to be the way you think it's going to be. Right? You see the guy who massively trained to do a 100-meter sprint? He really thought he's going to win it, right? And then he goes there and figures out there's somebody running faster than him. That doesn't mean you don't go run, right? The process is you will join the race and you run. You never know who's going to come first. I think I was watching figure skating once, and I think it was this, the sprint was the 400, I don't know how much, this where they go around the ring in the skate like 15 times. And this guy was like in the fourth spot. And he was just going, there was no medal for him, right? He was going to lose that race. He was in the fourth spot. The first three was way ahead of him. And then they hit each other and all three of them just slide off. And he just slid into his gold medal from the fourth spot. That's the outcome of what happened. He didn't see that coming. None of them saw that coming because nobody thought he would get a gold medal in that Olympic race. The first three just slide off. They hit each other and all three of them went off the race. And he came in first. Got gold medal from the fourth spot. That's the real outcome, right? So don't think you can control the outcome. The outcome will be what it is. You go through the process. When you go to a doctor, the doctor goes through a process. He doesn't know what the outcome. You know, sometimes you go to a doctor and, hey, he did 1, 2, 3 things and then bang, he gives you some medicine and you're great. Another person go to the same doctor, he will do the same set of tests and he give you the medicine and it didn't work. But I went to that doctor, he's not such a good doctor, you know. I went to the other doctor and he helped me. Well, when you go to the other doctor, what you just told him is that you have done these tests already. And he's going to do another set of tests. And then with that amount of information, he is likely going to get you the cure. Doesn't mean he's a much better doctor. It means he's just going through the process. Had you stayed with the same doctor, he probably would have done the other set of tests and find what the problem is with you. That's what doctors do. They go through the process when you go. There's a process that they have to go through, and then they will make their diagnosis, and then they will prescribe the medicine, and then they will see whether it works. It doesn't work, you come back, they go through the process again, doing some more tests, trying to figure out what else is happening. You think they know the outcome? They don't. So trading should be just like that. Follow the process. You must have a very robust process to follow. And the process should be based on knowledge. That's why you go to medical school for 7 years. Because you're going to gain the knowledge of what process you need to follow. And that is what we do. When we train you, we're telling you these are the processes you need to follow. How to analyze the chart. How to figure out when you're buying and when you're selling. Why do I think this is a good buy setup? How to put your entry orders. Where to put your stop. How to manage that trade. Right? Just like the gold. It didn't go. You remember we have a process of how we're going to close the gold trade if it doesn't go. Or how we're going to close any other trade if it doesn't go. Peng Yen this morning. Remember when this started to go up, somebody started panic and said, oh my God, it's going back up. And I'm like, don't worry. It's going to pull back and you'll close the trade for break even. The entry was here. It tagged and it pulled back. I was like, okay, your stop is higher. Don't worry. When this pull back, close it for break even. This is still a sell setup. This is still going to give us a sell. That's the process. See? The 5 is for what? What's the question at 5? I have no idea what the 5 is for. So that's the point, guys. Learn to learn the process of trading, and if you get it correctly, and if you can implement it correctly, and if you can, you're going to be successful. right? Because if you follow the right processes, you're going to get 1 or 2 losses. You're going to get tagged sometime where you didn't manage to get out for break even. And that's okay. In the general picture, in the bigger picture, you're going to be successful. So I'm hoping to see all of you in our room by Monday. Like I said, we're going to give you 2 months, so it's an equivalent of how much? If you join, you're going to get 2 a day. That's 20 for the month, right? 10, no, that's 10 for the week. That's 40 for the month. And that's 80 for the 2 months. 80 sessions you're going to get. I think that's a lot, right? You're getting 2 a day, 20 days, that's 40. 80 sessions you're going to get to make your decision whether what we do is interesting to you. That is if you join the installment. If you think you like what we do, join the group and we'll go. So I'm going to see all of you. Any questions before I go? Anything? Go ahead. Let's take some questions. It's Friday afternoon. If you don't have a trade today, no big deal. Aussie went up a little more. New Zealand went up a little more. There's still consolidation. So let's go with Aussie, New Zealand, right? Now when this breaks this top, when it breaks that top, watch it for profit, right? It's gonna break this top. It starts going down back. Aussie dollar, look for the sell setup. Now that you broke that top, start looking for a sell setup. New Zealand broke the top. It broke that top. Look for a sell setup. Take this off. That's a top. That's not a buy. Start looking for a sell setup. You've got this. You got an impulse, a pullback, an impulse, a pullback, an impulse. All of that looks sideways. You can put an entry here, but this is not where you want to sell it. You want to get a flag here to sell. Can it go higher? Yeah, they can go higher. They can consolidate and go higher, right? See this one, how much pullback you have, a pullback here, a pullback here, a pullback here, a pullback. So if this just pull back like this, then it's going to go one more pullback. It's going to go one more pullback, but one of these is going to drop through the bottom. Right? See that? Let's go. Okay. Well, if you stick around, you would learn how to manage a trade, how to take the profit of the trade too, right? Pound went up. Like everything else, they went up a little, nothing much. Pound went up, so here's the deal. Take this off for the sell. If it's going to continue to go up for this, I don't think we have this as yet. I think they're probably going to make that now. So if it's going to continue to go up for this one, you'll probably get a correction here. You'll get one more move there, and then we look for the sell. If this is going to drop, it's going to come here, make a flag, and we sell. So if it is going to drop, you want it to come back here, make a flag, and then go for a sell. If we're going to make this 1, 2, 3, then this could be the 2, but this one was too short. So I would assume they would make another flag here, go there, and then downside. I think we're going to have more downside before we go back up. This would eventually go lower before they go back up. I don't think we're totally going for the upside, but we'll see. As usual, right? We'll see when it gets there. You're welcome. So, okay guys, since no more questions, everybody trade with care. It's Friday afternoon, have fun. Right? Have a great weekend. I would put out the video on Saturday for the course, reminding people of the course if anybody wants to join and what you're going to get. So, if you'd like to share it, please share it. All the videos we did this week, I hope you find them interesting. There's something in every one of them, especially at the end, so you want to watch them to the end. And there is something to learn from them. So, trade with care, and I would see all of you on Monday. I hope most of you will be with us, so we'll see you there. Take care and trade with care. Thanks for coming. Bye. Have a great weekend.